guys, welcome to episode 11 of Coffee and Stitches with Mandy. Today is September 24th, 2022. I hope everybody's had a good September. It's been busy here. It's about 9:30, so I'm still on my first cup of coffee, so I've got my Squad Goals cup, and let's get started because I've got FFOs, which is fully finished objects or fully fabulous objects, but as Stacy Stitch's husband kindly put it, and I like that that saying of fully fabulous objects or finally fabulous objects or whatever, however he says it, versus fully finished, because some things sit in under a bed box and they're finished, it's just not displayed right or ready for display. We'll put it that way. I've got finishes, a bunch of whips, plans, haul, you name it, I have it. Probably in this pile I've got both knitting and stitching. So let's just get into it. Let's start with this pile. It's about to fall over. I went through, I think about 2 weeks ago, and was in a finishing kick, so I just went through and finished a bunch of things that I had floating around that needed to be done. First up is my Polar Bear Abode by Lindy Stitches. This is stitched on 18 count. I don't know what the color of this one was. Using my own colors. And then it's just the plain fat folds with the buffalo plaid flannel. This is part of my Christmas village. And then I've got the Sweet Shop by Little House Needleworks, I think. It's either that or Country Cottage, because this is part of their hometown holidays. It's, yeah, Little House Needleworks. This is part of their hometown holidays. And then buffalo plaid, 18 count. But this one I used beads instead of French knots in the wreath that I really like. All of these houses are my own call for colors. I have a set that I just grab fancy floss. There's basics like I think this is Cinnamon Twist by Weeks. This is Blue Spruce. Maybe Brandy Pears by Classic Colorworks, but like there's a bunch of ones that I just pull from, and we go from there. And then they all have usually a little bit of sparkle. And like this, the what's holding the sign is Petite Treasure Braid Icicle, I think, that I had left over from. And then I just put a little batting in between here so it's puffy. I've got this is part of the Frosty Friends series, the deer one, and then I use the button, buffalo plaid, and sorry about the lighting, this is the only time I've got to do it today, so. And then this is Glitter Village by Country Cottage Needleworks. I've got the Ice Creamery. Raccoon Cabin. And then this one has the black and white striped with metallic snowflakes on it. And then I've got the Disney Castle, or a Disney Castle, so celebrating the 50th anniversary of Disney from Abby Sue Designs that came in the Van Gogh Fiber Advent Magic Kingdom Advent box last year. I used all the call for colors for the castle, and then I made the fireworks sparkle, because fireworks are supposed to sparkle. And then this has got the black and white on the back. And then I fully finished my Shannon Christie July 4th and July 1st, so I've got the first here using all the called for colors. This is stitched on 18 count Be Stitch Me and Rainy Day. Maple leaves on the back, and then the inside here has some Canada fabric that I found at Joann's. And then July 4th, I did do French knots for the stars because the beads I had didn't work, didn't look the right size, so. And then this has got USA fabric on the inside, and then fireworks on the outside. And then I finished my Hello Summer by Primrose Cottage. This has, it's on 14 count opalescent Ada that I found at Michael's, using Fangirl Fiber silks that came in the Advent box and some Fiberlicious colors just to fill it in. And then it's just backed with some flip-flop fabric. Yeah, that's all my fully finished objects. And then I started and finished Corgi Caboodle. We've got a good friend that had corgis. She's down to one. At one point when I first met her, she had 3 in like the 3 different colors. So it's using all the called for colors, but I switched out the middle corgi to, I think it calls for 435. I switched it to 437, so it was a little bit lighter because her corgi that she has is a little bit lighter now. So yeah. And then this is stitched on 18 count whitewashed board by Fabric Flare. I gave her the option of which fabric she wanted last time I saw her. We'd gone out for lunch, and I took a couple fabrics in the pattern and go pick a fabric, and this is what she picked. And I really like how it looks on it. I am going to, when I flat fold it a little bit later, I am going to leave probably an inch border around here so you can actually see that it's on wood. So yeah, I'll post that to my Instagram, which is Mandy Pinecone. Coffee good. The next thing I finished is another part of the my Christmas Village. I finished the toy store. This is 18 count vintage country mocha, and then using my own call for colors. Like most of the reds I use is Classic Colorworks Cherry Cobbler. So like the red is usually the same. And like for whites, I switch between B5200 white. It depends on what I have and how much white is in it. So like some of them have B5200, some of them have 3865. Some of them have white, some of them have picket fence. I think I've done a couple with snowflake by weeks. It just depends on what my mood is. When I stitch them up, I will, like, I think when I get back into the Christmas mood, because right now I'm in the I'm enjoying fall stitching, I'll start the coffee shop. And then this lives in my Christmas animal bag or project folder. This one I used to use regular interfacing and have learned since then it's too floppy for me. I like the double-sided fusible foam that Tiger Lily Designs uses in her patterns. So there's that one. That's everything that I've finished. So see, like, this one is the fusible foam, and this one actually quilted in blocks. I like that. This is my Year in the Woods folder. I did a little bit on the Jackrabbit. So you guys have all seen these. I've just put a little more of the gray, lighter gray in. I think I picked it up one day. I've got to pick it back up because I really want to get these done, but it's not calling to me, so it's going back in the pile. And then this is just Tula Pink. I really like this Tula Pink Tiny Beast, I think, is what this line was. Fabric, it's got the squirrels. The next project I worked on is my After the Rain by Liz Matthews. It was a release from last year or the year before. It's got just rainbows that I'm stitching up for a cousin of mine that's having her first child soon, so I get to work on this. And I had random family members pick out colors, and it's stitched on 18 count Cool by Fortnite Fabrics. So yeah. And then I'm stitching this I'm taking one color and then just moving around as I do it on the needle. So like I started probably with like the blue here. I filled in this blue, so I jumped up here and did a little bit of that. The red here, I finished up here and brought it back down here. And then there's like one or two colors that are only in here once or twice. And I just finish them off and just move to the next one. So, and I'm just using, I picked a color palette, had people pick, so it's like this bright rainbow. And that lives in my unicorn bag that I made. It's lovely unicorns that goes with the fabric. So, one of my days off, I was watching FlossTube because like I'll usually binge FlossTube on a day off, and I was watching Stitch by Liz and Sarah Memphis, and I'm seeing them stitch their Disney patterns. I love Disney. I've got a couple Disney patterns going, mostly by Donna Stitch, her whole princess line. So I got the urge to pull out one of those. So I spun my decision wheel and picked out Snow White. I don't have the color copy of the photocopy of it, so it's this lovely pattern. This one came out in 2017, and that's when I started it. So it's an old whip. But I actually was able to get, I had this page done. I was able to get all of this page here done. I think there's a little bit more through here that I've got to finish, but that's where it was, that's where it is. And I really like this, and I'm still gonna finish the apple, making the apple sparkle, because I'm top stitching with, I think it's a number, it's Kreinik blending filament, just going over the top stitch with it so the apple sparkles. And this is on 18 count Silver Moon. So yeah, I pull out these when I get the urge to pull them out. And I got the urge, so I did it. I'm not usually a big full coverage fan. I'd rather do smaller projects, get them done, but that's okay. The next up is my autumn piece. I started Hello Autumn by Primrose Cottage on Thursday. I'm using Bead Stitch Me Silks. So far I've got the Hello, which is her autumn color, and then the top of the acorns here are espresso. I've already stitched this once for my small exchange, but I really enjoyed stitching it, and I really enjoyed the summer, so I am switching up colors for Bead Stitch Me Silks, whatever colors I felt like. So yeah, there's that. I will finish this up. And then, Labor Day weekend? Yeah, Labor Day weekend. I went to Joann's and found fabrics to do seasonal project folders. So this is all my seasonal projects live in here. So it's the Hello Autumn, or Hello Season. Like this one is the Autumn House by Primrose Cottage. They've got a house for each season. So that lives in here, along with the Waxy Moon Trio for the season, the Waxy Moon Littles for the season, and then Seasons of the Heart by Blue Flower. These are out of last year's Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher magazine, but she just released this at Expo for everybody, but that's where I got my version of it. I love hearts. My actually engagement ring has hearts on the side. It's just something, I like this aesthetic. So I want to finish like this pillow as a pillow, and one or two of the Autumn Littles as pillows, and put it with like my Hello in a double. The houses are going to get flat folded so I can have a house row for each season. I might stitch a couple of the other houses, like village pieces to put up for seasonal, like the coffee shop. I'll probably do twice, as a winter, one as a winter, one as a fall. It's an idea I'm playing with. We'll see, because I don't mind stitching some patterns twice. So yeah, like my Hello. And then for the Seasons of the Heart, I'm going to put those on the rusted the whitewashed board because I think that would look pretty. And then the fall houses are going to go on to Picture This Plus Haunted. Or I have this out of here. I modified my folders this time around after watching, I think it was a Tiger Lily pod or floss tube. She had modified one of her project folders to put loops of thread in from Aurifil spools that she was using. So I modified my project folder. One side has the big pocket that my fabric sits in. Behind it sits the patterns. And then this side, I have a little pocket for like my needles, my scissors live in here. Okay, my scissors are in there. And then this pocket I slip behind. And then up here, oh, it's buried. Before I was just putting a strip so I could just clip my floss cards to. This one I actually made a vinyl pocket that this slips into, and then I hole punched because I've got a punch that puts rivets into garments and stuff, hole punched spots, so I can loop my threads through the card, through the clear vinyl for the projects. So, and then, so this one's got pumpkins on the outside, and on the inside it's pumpkins and leaves. I really like this one. So that's that folder, and then I like the ties to tie them closed because it's easier than snapping for me, and I just how I enjoy it. So like I used, I think 3 or 4 different patterns to make these. I think I explained it on my Instagram when I posted these. The original size and stuff is from Tiger Lily Designs, her project folders, along with this big pocket. This side is from a different pattern I found on Etsy. It had this pocket here and then the piece here. Instead of doing binding after the fact, I used Elizabeth Ann Can Stitch's vinyl bag tutorial, how she does that for self-binding. So I used the self-binding on these. So yeah, that's my autumn. My winter has winter animals on the front, white ribbon, and then blue and silver, or gray silver, because snowflakes. Some of the bigger ones actually are metallic. So, and then this will have my winter pattern. All my hello ones are gonna be on 18 count. So this is Age Smoke is what I've got for the winter. And then I'm gonna stitch the winter houses on 18 count Morning Fog by Bestitch Me, because it's this nice bluey gray. And then the winter seasonal heart will still be, all the seasonal of the heart are getting stitched on the whitewash board. I've got enough of that fabric to do all 4, I think. So yeah. And then I haven't decided what I'm doing my winter littles on. my spring is these Bee Skips on gray. I fell in love with this fabric after my fall fabrics. This was the easiest one to find because I found this, and then right next to it was the inside fabric I have was this, which is honeycombs with bees and sunflowers. So yeah, this is the clear pocket. It does have holes in it. Zippered pouch. And then for my Hello Spring, it's just a 14 count of like printed DMC that's in this like sunsetty color. That's all I've picked out so far. I'll figure out what I want to do the houses for spring on later. And I've got to cut strings on this. But yeah, I really like how simple this looks. And then my summer one was probably my hardest to find fabric for. Winter was, I knew I wanted wintry, but not Christmas. So that's why I ended up with winter animals and snowflakes, because that screams winter to me. Plus, this worked out by my mistake. Elizabeth Ann's self-binding tutorial calls for cutting the outside fabric 2 inches bigger than your inside fabric. Well, when I cut the inside fabric for this, or what I was going to do for the outside fabric for this for the summer, I cut it to the inside fabric. I didn't have enough to recut it, so I used what I was gonna do for the inside fabric as the outside fabric. So the outside fabric of my summer one is sand dollars and other sea shells. The inside fabric is beachy fabric. You can see it better down here. So yeah. But why I say that works so well is if you look at all 4 of them, if I can do this right. Ha, I can do them, hold them up. They all have like a gray, blackish exterior. And then the spring and fall have those pop-ups of color. So yeah, so that worked out well. I really like this style for multiple projects because everything can get just thrown in here. And I have everything for my seasonal projects in there. And then I did my Halloween. This is my Halloween color palette. I'm not a big orange fan for Halloween. I like it for fall. Halloween, I'd rather do the like cutesy pinky purples. So this is plans, but yeah, I did make my Halloween project bag. For October, I'm going to focus on just stitching Halloween. I was gonna start the sloth animal stack pattern while we were on vacation in Costa Rica. I decided that I don't feel like stitching another one of these right away. So that is gonna wait until probably next spring. And I'm just gonna focus on Halloween and fall for October. So my Halloween is gonna be the Waxing Moon Designs Haunted House Trio. the Halloween trio. I'm stitching those using the called for overdyes where I think they're needed, like the houses themselves are going in the overdyed, but like some of the other, like the white and some of the other colors that aren't used a lot, I'm using the DMC equivalents. I am just going to stitch those on, it's almost, right here. It is Be-Stitch Me 18 count. This is pink chocolate. And it's my pinky brown color that I like for Halloween. I think, because I've already pulled all my threads, are going to look really nice on this without being overly busy. So I'm going to focus on that in October. We have a trip that we leave like the 13th to Costa Rica on. That's why I was going to start these sloths, but I don't have a fabric picked out, and I don't have time to pick out, to order a fabric, because I don't know what I want those stitched on, because I want a neutral, but not a neutral. I haven't quite decided. But yeah, so I will be focusing on my Halloween houses. I know on the 10th of October, I'm gonna start the Seasons of the Heart, because that's my anniversary. So I'm gonna start that on the 10th. When I finish Hello Autumn, I'm probably gonna start one of the autumn houses, or autumn trio from Waxy Moon Designs. I'm going to start one of those. This is mostly going to be my work project, so I'll work on it when I'm on lunch. But we will see, because we are busy. I think my next days off until I leave are actually planned for me. So there's that. Knitting. I've just picked up random projects here and there just to work on them. So like this is a sock weight yarn from why am I blanking on Kirsty's Dye Studio, Fiber Stash, that we were trying, she was trying out when I picked it up. I was here and I've knit that little bit. This is just the basic sockhead hat in hot pink, and the yarn actually is made to have like the black twisted, so the black so it makes this lovely stripes up it. I actually like how this hat looks. It's just a basic slouchy beanie type thing, and it lives in my pink llamas wearing hats that I got from Wee Ones, from like right back in 2019, the last time I went. I'm not gonna be able to go this year because we get back from Costa Rica like 2 days before, and I was not gonna take 3 weeks off from work, because I think they would yell at me for that. The next pattern, or the next project I picked up or have in my pile, is another hat, again in Fiber Stash Dye Works. This is her DK weight. I'm pretty sure, if I remember what she said, She's debuting her DK weight at Vermont. Don't quote me. It depends on if she's got enough dyed up, because yeah. So this is in her City Lights colorway. It's a basic, or this is the Candle Flame hat by Alicia Plummer. I've knit this probably 3 or 4 times now. I really love the simple stitch, slip stitch pattern, and it shows really well and variegated because it's, you get the slip stitches and the pops of color with the dark background, and it just pops those stitches. When I picked it up, I was down here, I think like 2 rows in. My stitch markers are by Wee Ones on Etsy. She makes these adorable clay. This one's a sleeping polar bear. I've got a bunch of her stitch markers. She also does earrings that I've got. So there's that one, and then this lives in a Stitched by Jessa Lou book bag. And then the last knitting project that I've worked on. I might have picked up another one of my sweaters somewhere along the lines. Living in my sloth yoga bag is my summer swirl pattern. I actually have ball bands in this one because I picked up the yarn while I was at one of the shows helping Christy. So this one actually has ball bands. So it's Fiber Stash Dye Works. I'm using her, actually let me flip this inside out the right way, because for the body you knit this inside out. So it's this, again, slip stitch pattern. I was like up here. I hadn't finished this, so I separated for the sleeves and then knit down the body probably 2 inches. I've got a bunch more to go on that. It is using her Twinkle, which is her sparkle base, which is 25% superwash merino, 20% nylon, 5% twinkle. This is Band Candy, which is the green on top. I'm using her strong base in Potions, which was the Vermont Sheep and Wool colorway from last year. For this color, and then the last color, which I just added in, is also in her Twinkle base. It is the color, ooh, that actually, you're seeing the twinkle. When there are 9 is what this colorway is. Her strong base is 25% or 80% superwash, 20% nylon. And I really like how her yarn shows stitch definition, and the twinkle isn't overpowering, but it still shows. I've knit because she's a friend of mine and I help her out. I've knit all her bases. I really like her yarn. If you are in the Vermont area, she'll be at Vermont Sheep and Wool the 1st and 2nd. I can't wait. Vermont Sheep and Wool was the first fiber festival that I went to in 2016. It's one of the few that I can drag my husband to. We've driven down. We found out about it, I think, through a article in like the local paper of what to do. So we drove down for the day. I had just gotten back into knitting not too long before, so I picked up a couple things. I picked up a skein of Fiber Stash. and like a couple other skeins of yarn, a Stitch by Jessa Lou bag, which I've lost since, and just had fun. Over the next year, I became friends with some lovely people. Yeah, probably 2015 is when this all happened. I became good friends with a couple of local they were doing podcasts at that time. I was watching them, so I started chatting with them. I became really good friends with a couple of them. Met Christy. One of them knew Christy from when she lived in Vermont. She was living. Jen was living in New Hampshire at the time, so became friends with Christy. Christy and I became really good friends since then. I've helped her in their dye studio. So I always look forward to going to Vermont. I've gone to Vermont every year since 2015 that it's been. This is the first in-person show they've had since 2019. Last year they canceled it because of the numbers in Vermont, COVID numbers, about a month before. So they didn't do it in person last year. So I'm really looking forward to spending the day visiting with everybody that comes to Vermont. I will be in Christy's booth a good portion of the day. I'm gonna have fun. I'll probably do a little bit of shopping. I don't need much. But it's probably going to be the last Fiber Fest that I go to for a while. I will probably talk more about why next episode. But yeah, so if you have a chance, if you are in the Vermont, or you are going to Vermont Sheep and Wool, stop by and say hello. So yeah, I'll probably be working on this or my, which sweater is that? I know what colors it is, I can't think of the pattern. It's in Picky Husband. Sunset Highway, I think, sweater that I'm knitting. One of those I'll be working on at Vermont, sitting in Christy's booth, helping her out. So yeah, so Fiber Stash Dye Works, she has her own site. She has most of her colors. We're working on updating inventory. So if you see a color on her site that you really want, just email her and she will dye it up and get it out to you as soon as she can. Yeah. So that is plans. So haul. I've got a little bit. First up, Fangirl Fiber posted her Halloween stuff like mid-August. And part of her Halloween was her Mickey Mouse floss drops. So I had to order a set of those. So this time around, in the past, she's done 4 different with 3 each. So this time around, she only had 3. So you got 3 patterns. So you got plain white, plain black, and then you have black and white cobwebs. I really like these. I've got, I think, all the ones that she's put out. I know I've got the Valentine's Day, I've got the winter one, and then I started getting these in her Advent box, and I really like just for basic patterns where I'm switching colors a lot that are Disney themed, because that's what I use these for, are my Disney patterns. Yeah, so I've got those, and those come with a rose gold ring, so those will go away. I picked up, when I was at Joann's, the Just Crusted Halloween. I really like a couple patterns in here, and it's worth, for the couple patterns, it was worth picking up. Like, what sold me was, oh, I can find it big. Of course, I didn't bookmark things. Oh. The gnomes here. And the other one was the pumpkin spice and everything next, because I am a pumpkin spice fan. My actual coffee has pumpkin spice creamer in it this morning. There was another one, 31. Give me a second. I want to find the bigger pattern. The books with the cauldron. I really like that one. Spells and Potions. That's by Tangled Threads and Things. But for $10 for 3 patterns, I might stitch more. I thought it was worth picking up. I'm trying to see what I have in my lap. Also, Labor Day weekend, I went to my farmer's market, because I don't get a chance to go often, because I usually work Saturday mornings, so I don't get a chance to go. I found one of my favorite vendors there is Happy Fantastic Designs. She's a local maker to me. She does have I think an Etsy shop, or it might be her own shop. She does bags, buttons, t-shirts, and then some wood carvings. So I picked up this tie-dyed, or this, not tie-dyed, like, it looks like tie-dyed, boomerang garland. So it's, I think, 3 feet long, because I thought it was pretty. What else? I got a couple orders from Tiny Hummingbird Designs on Facebook, which is Sammy J's Stitches here in FlossTube. I had to order a couple things for me. One was the new Little House Needleworks music store. This I'm going to be stitching in tie-dyed from Forbidden Fiber, because a music store to me, most of the music we listen to around here is 60s, like Grateful Dead, Allman Brothers, Pink Floyd, tie-dyed. So that's the bottom half of the house is going in that. I will probably stitch this November, December. I also picked up Trick or Treat by Cottage Garden Sampling for next year. I don't think I'm gonna work on it this year. And she also had from Hindsight Love Coffee, and it comes with the charm. Yeah, so I picked up this one because coffee is life. Drink caffeine because adulting is hard is a perfect motto for me. And then I got the Little Brown Bat. I still need to find fabric for this, the fall animals, which is the woodpecker, the Little Brown Bat, and then the beaver that just got released, I think this week. I need to find something that these oranges and browns will pop on. That's still fall to me. So there's that. I got my issue of Punch Needle and Primitive Hair. Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher. I really like the Autumn Lane design here. But I'm in love with the Hello from Liz Matthews Boo. That one I will definitely have to stitch next year. Or I might do it this year, depending on what I feel like doing. I really like this magazine. I also like the Halloween Parade. I'm trying to see if there's any other ones that are jumping out at me. This Teresa Kogut is adorable, but I probably won't stitch it. It says, when witches go riding and black cuts are seen, the moons laugh and whispers, 'tis near Halloween. I'm not a big Halloween person. I like the cutesy Halloween. I love dressing up and handing out candy to kids, but I don't decorate. I decorate for fall. I'm more of a fall pumpkin spice. Give me all the apple cider, all that, and then the Barbara Anna is adorable too. So yeah, there's that. I got my August Bestitch Me, which is this lovely green and yellow called Water Nymph. I get 18 count Ada because that's my preferred stitching. I really like this color. I don't know what I'm using it for. It's going in my stash. And then I got the silk pack, or I get her silks of the month. So they're these lovely blues. I'm using some of these for one of my Expo releases that I picked up because I placed 2 different orders for Expo. I did an order through Stitch New England and got Hello Winter. And behind every knitter, there is a huge pile of yarn from October House. And then from Stacey Stitches Designs, she sent stickers. I got, if you can't remember my name, just say Coffee by Heartstring Samply. And then I picked up Seasonal Colors by Works by ABC. So that was all my haul. So that's it for today. I will talk to you guys probably end of October when I get a chance. So I hope everybody stays safe and happy stitching. Bye.